Welcome to Retirement with Ease, a four-part series where we discuss on the important aspects of retirement planning here in Singapore. In episode 2 last week, the consultants shared their insights to proper asset allocation and how to fund our retirement years. For the third episode today, we are going to explore the topic on healthcare management in retirement years. Healthcare, of course, being one of the top concerns of all retirees, is going to be a commonly discussed topic when he or she reaches their golden years. Andy, hey. Morning, Andy.
Hey, morning, Ryan.
Hey, glad you have you here. So Andy is a well-established mentor to many of the aspiring financial advisors here in his firm. On top of that, he is a trusted advisor to many of his clients, of which many of them have been with him over the past decade.
Thank you.
Andy, maybe you can weigh on this. How much should I be budgeting for maybe someone my age? I'm 20 plus this year.
Oh, that's a great question. So for someone in the 20s, I would say that the premium that you are paying for a shield plan, if you are catering for private healthcare and with appropriate riders, I think the premium each year will range between maybe 1,000 to 2,000. And I think this premium will increase, along the way as you age. So maybe for myself, I'm in my 40s, it's really ranging between 2,000 to 3,000 per year in terms of premium. So I think this is actually one key area of healthcare expenses as we age. But I think there's one area that a lot of us overlook when it comes to healthcare expenses. There will be this thing called health screening costs. Health screening has been, in my opinion, a very important preventive measure because most of the critical illness now, it can be detected in the early stage. So once detected in the early stage, it can be addressed before it advances to the late stage. So typically, maybe for someone like yourself in your 20s, I think a basic healthcare screening will cost about maybe 60 to 100 per time. But as we age, for example, like my dad, in his 60s, I would recommend him to do a comprehensive health checkup once every 3 to 5 years.
Right.
And that typically will cost between 400 to 800 per time. So I think when we cater healthcare expenses, this is actually one very important cost we need to actually include when we are planning for retirement.
Yeah, and you talk about those healthcare screening expenses. So what about health supplement costs? How important is that, and what are we expecting when it comes to budgeting for these supplements?
So for me, maybe I take myself as an example. I'm in my early 40s. So for me, when I take supplement now, it costs about 300 to 400 per month. But as we age, I think there are specific supplements that is catered for elderly. So like for my dad, he's taking multivites and calcium pills.
Yeah, how much does it all add up?
It will add up to about maybe 100 to 200 per month.
Per month. And how about the helper costs? That's something I think people overlook as well.
So it really highly dependent on the family nucleus. So when we talk about helper costs, if we are looking at a small family nucleus, whereby there's only one kid or two kids, right? When our parents get older, and they need someone to take care of them every day, it's actually very, highly impossible for the kids to actually quit their job and just take care of their parents. So engaging a helper is important, and typically, if you are just looking at a helper from a maid agency, it will cost between 700 to 1,000 per month.
Yeah, especially in Singapore when both parents are typically working, it can be quite hard to take care of your parents. Andy, how about you? You've got a lot of clients who get your help to do retirement planning. What are some of the stories you've heard or observed in terms of maybe some lessons we can take away from them?
Just to share a client experience, I met this lady in the maybe late 50s. So I asked her this question: when it comes to retirement, what are the areas that you think you need to cater for, and how much do you need it? So her answer is like, Andy, I want to travel to these countries when I retire. I want to actually, be able to give my grandchildren, very big ang paos during Chinese New Year, and also to donate to charity.
That sounds like me. Actually, a lot of people might want to hope for that in future.
Precisely. So after she shared, I asked her, how about healthcare costs? I hear nothing about this. And her reply was like, at this age, in the 60s, 70s, I live a good life. If I'm ready, if I fall sick and I do not have the correct insurance, I think I will just die. It's totally fine. I think the key thing is I just want to make sure my children and grandchildren, they have a good life. So I was very surprised.
How do you respond?
To be honest, I was like stunned. I feel that this scenario is very common because when it comes to retirement, I think one will actually think about which country they are going to during retirement rather than thinking which hospital they can actually go to when they fall sick. So I think there's a need to actually have this awareness, the education to actually teach the public on how catering for healthcare costs should be integrated into retirement planning.
Yeah, it seems like they are hoping for the best outcome without planning for the worst outcome.
Yes, precisely. So I strongly believe that one should always sparkle in health to enjoy the golden years.
Okay, Andy, what do you think is the right way to go about retirement planning? How often should you be reviewing? Is it every year that you should be meeting a consultant?
I think it really depends on individual, but I think once a year review is actually important to eliminate any surprises when it comes to retirement planning. There are three key questions that you can ask yourself. So the first question will be, in the event of poor health, and you need to seek treatment, where do you get this money? That will be the first question. Second, in the event, if you lose the mental capacity to take care of yourself, who will be the one taking control of your finances? And lastly, you will be in the event, due to poor health or some form of disability, you need someone to take care of you daily. Who will be the one that will be doing this? So if you can have a definite answer to these three questions, I think definitely when something like this were to happen, you and your family won't be in any surprise.
Yeah, those are a very good question to ask to get clarity on where you are headed. And just to wrap things up, we've talked about a lot of things, and I want to make it very clear for everyone watching and listening. What are some of the key takeaways to remember after hearing everything? What's your take on some of the more important stuff and points to take away from here?
I think taking the deliberate action to actually plan for medical expenses, as well as investing your money to cater for all the medical inflation, I think these are solutions that everyone should explore. But what if someone who's planning for retirement and feel that they don't have the financial budget to plan for all this? Just to share, I have one client that I met in the early 40s, and she actually mentioned that I do not want to get any medical insurance because just looking at the premium at the later stage of 60, 70 is so costly.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy this now. I think I will never get it. So I think it's very important that one who feel that they cannot finance this plan in the long term, they should actually discuss with their family. Okay, why do I say so? In the event, if one were to be hospitalized and you do not have any medical insurance, who is going to pay for the bill?
Yeah, it can actually cost more.
Yes. So I always encourage, or should I say for this client, I told her you should discuss with your family members. Have a discussion, because in the event if you cannot finance this plan, I think it makes a lot of sense for the children to take care of this bill. There's this saying, your parents' bill is your bill.
Yeah, since you took care of them, maybe it's time for them to take care of you.
And in the later stage of their life, if they need to seek any treatment, I think every children want to give the parent the best treatment so that they can recover and enjoy their golden years. So like for myself, I actually take care of both my parents' medical insurance so that they can just focus on their retirement life.
Sounds like a great plan. Thank you so much. Well, there you have it, the third episode of Retirement with Ease, Healthcare Management During Retirement Years.